I have to say for us, for French people, it's a day of mourning today because we lost 4 soldiers in Afghanistan, and it's a clear way to remember us also of our fight far away from our countries for values. I would like also to say thank you for 2 persons who are leaving us. Yael Avant, who has been for 11 years here at the French embassy, working for the press. I think she really deserves your applause because she has been doing very, very well. Merci beaucoup, Yael. She's leaving next week. So in some way, this is her departure party, farewell party. And Michael Val also is leaving us. I'm sure a lot of you have been in acquaintance with Michael. Michael was bringing, the spirit of Jerusalem to Tel Aviv. That was quite of a challenge for him and for us too, I have to confess. So thank you very much, Michael, for your contribution for these last, I think, 6 years. Well, this year, last year in fact, has been a tough year, but there were also opportunities for joy, for great moment of consensus, and one of that one was obviously the release of Gilad Shalit. You know, Gilad is Israeli but also French, and it was a very special moment for here but also in France, and I had the pleasure to meet him twice. And he's obviously he obviously still has a long way in front of him to recover, but he's going in the right direction. And it was very moving to see the way he felt about the work we've been doing and the emotion in France in his favor. This year we'll have obviously to face, as every year you may say, the Iranian challenge. I think that, it's not that I think, I'm sure that you are, but we are also, French people, determined to do our utmost to avoid a nuclear Iran. You may remember that Sarkozy, it was in November, asked the world to come with unprecedented sanctions, one on the Iranian oil, the other one on the Iranian central bank, and look at what was done since November. I think that we really were going to the good direction, and I hope that as soon as this Monday, next Monday, decision will be taken by the European Union in that direction. And I think these unprecedented sanctions is the appropriate way to answer to this threat, which is not a threat for Israel, it's a threat for the region, it's a threat for the security of the world. This year also, we hope that there will be some progress on the peace process. I know it looks like a kind of routine, like a kind of purely rhetoric sentence. Nevertheless, we hope that the discussions in Amman will contribute to progresses and will contribute to create a better climate, a better atmosphere that will allow both parties, to make the necessary compromise. There will be a time where it will be too late. So I hope that really both parties will take the right decision in that direction, and we are fully ready to push them in that direction. France has been very active last year on both Libya and Syria. On Syria, there's still a lot to be done. We've worked with the Arab League, we've worked on sanctions with the European Union, we worked with the Syrian opposition. We adopted the strong sanction on Syria, but unfortunately the repression is still occurring. We still have a lot to do. But I think once more also on Syria we are fighting for values. I'm sure you may think this is naive, or maybe this is arrogant, but I think this is also important to notice that diplomats or policies are not only about interest. They are also about interest, but not only about interest. There are a lot of other issues that I would like to mention. Maybe if you look at the relation between France and Israel, we all have in mind the drama that occurred the last 16th of September in Tel Aviv. I'm referring to the death of Lee Zeitouni. I've said the day after that it was shameful, that we condemn fully, that there's a lot of emotion there involved, and that justice should be done. I've said so to the family a few days after the drama. I've said the same thing to the Minister of Justice in Israel, Yaakov Neman. But justice should be done, yes, absolutely. This is a moral necessity. This is a legal necessity. But I see no reason why should Israeli challenge the quality, the independence, the fairness of the French justice. This I don't understand. And here I feel a real frustration when people don't understand that we can't judge these people as much and as well as the Israeli people. We all know that there are some barriers. There are two democracies have to abide by laws. It occurs that we cannot extradite French citizens outside the European Union, but we can absolutely judge them. Whenever the Israeli family or the Israeli authorities will tell us that they want us to judge them, we will judge them. We will arrest them, we will judge them. Up to now, such requests has not been provided to France. It's very simple, a letter. We are waiting for this letter. I hope it will come. I'm confident it will come, because there is no alternative to justice. And this justice can be done in France. We have all the means, all the abilities to do so. Beyond this case, I would like also to say a few things about the bilateral relationship between our two countries. People always focus on the political level, rightly so, but I would like just to focus also on other issues. Economy, for example. French exports have increased by 14% last year. This is not enough. There are tremendous opportunities here in Israel. You're enjoying, a huge increase of your GDP. In France, I could not say, we are at that level, so I'm always encouraging French companies to come here, and we had a great event. It was the 1st of December in Paris, and it was in some way history in terms of economy. There were never so many French and Israeli companies together. They were focusing on innovation, and really it was, I think it's a very good starting point, and I hope it will bear fruits for this year. In terms of culture, we all know, that whatever happens in the relationship between France and Israel, we will still have culture, and that's true. And this year, we'll try to be as innovative as last year. We will have a forum on democracy and religion in June. I guess this is an issue which may attract some interest in Israel. Olivier Rubinstein, our new cultural counselor, will be in charge of this event. And then we will have, our classics events that are always so successful, like the Festival of French Cinema, Le Film Intouchable, for the French people here, will be the opening of the festival. And maybe we'll have also Toledano, I hope so, one of the directors. We'll have also Lire en scène, French and Israeli actors reading French and Israeli masterpiece in French and Israeli literature with the Théâtre Caméré. And I will not, go further, but really this is impressive. Thank you, Olivier, for all of this. And we have, now the French Institute. We have a new name also, but still on the same boulevard. Rothschild 7. Excellent address.
It's a new painting. It's a new painting.
And now, yes, we have also, from the one who know painting, we have Alberola, who is a great French painter. And we have in the bulle, the bubble, that is at the ground level, we have a beautiful room painted by Alberola. That's also a sign of the involvement of French art here in Israel. By the way, the reciprocity is true also. As you know, David Grossman received last year the Prix Médicis étranger, which is the I think the biggest prize in France for foreign literature. And remember this, that in 2008 Israel was honored by the book festival in Paris. So a lot of issues we have to deal with, but we have also to deal with elections. Elections in Israel, I don't know. You know better. You are the journalists, you know. You are the members of the parliament. But there will be definitely French elections. A new president or the same president. That's for the people to decide. But it's also for the French in Israel to decide, because we will have 16 places in Israel where people will be allowed to go for vote. That's an exceptional effort. Basically, we are putting a booth in front of every Israeli house. So that's for the presidential election. And even more interesting, we'll have the what we call the general election, the election for the parliament. And for the first time in all our history, French people in Israel, as French people all around the world, will be able to vote for a member of the parliament that will represent them. And in the constituency of Israel, the French people in Israel represent 60% of the constituency. So they will have the opportunity, you know, to have their voice being heard, to elect a representative. I'm sure it will be, and it's already a tough campaign. Our role will be that this campaign will be fair, and that elections will be well organized with all the guarantees of independence and neutrality you can expect from a state. I have a lot of other things to tell you, but as usual my memory is fading away. Nicolas, my deputy, my excellent deputy, my kind of personal computer, usually, you know, provides for what I forget. But, well, I would like also to say that we are happy enough that last year there were two new medias, two French media available, that is RFI and France 24, both of them in French. That's on the network HOT, and I hope that other French media will be represented on Israeli webs and networks. Is there anything else? No? Well, I would like also to say, you know, that people are saying, you know, that we are kind of focused on the Tel Aviv bubble. And it's true. Well, in some way it's true. But go to Beersheba, go to Haifa. We have a lot of other events over there. For example, in Beersheba, we are doing what we call a Molière dans le désert. It's a very unique event where we have Le Bourgeois Gentilhomme being played by Bedouins. That's something, you know, worth watching. So go also to Beersheba. We have to get out of Tel Aviv. And otherwise, you know, we'll continue, France and Israel will continue to enjoy this kind of, what I will call, you know, Russian, les montagnes russes, roller coasters. But why do we have this kind of roller coaster? You could say that because Israelis do not understand French, that French do not understand Israeli. I think it's more than this. It's because it's a kind of a family discussion. So when you have a family discussion, the debate is always, you know, rather heated, because you can allow within a family to go to the full extent of your argument. You are allowed to be excessive. Because at the end of the meeting, you know, well, you will still be part of the family, and that what you say is important, but it is not going to change the relationship. So that's my hope also for 2012, and I hope we'll enjoy this also very friendly relation between the embassy, France, and the Israeli press and Israel. Whatever happened, because I've told about what is expected, but usually in this country, what is important is what is not expected. Happy New Year. Thank you.